Hey everyone, this is Roy, and welcome to SpecFreq dev video number 11. I know it's been a while since my last video, I think about a month, but it's for a good reason. I've been busy churning code, and so this is going to be one of the biggest videos I've made in a while because I have a lot of updates I'm really excited to show you. First and foremost, just listen. That's right, we got some background music in the game now. As we go through the video, you're going to notice when I press buttons, there's like little button clicks. There's a lot more weapon sounds now, different sounds for bullets versus rockets. I've really started to work on the kind of like user interaction with the game, so it feels like you're actually interfacing with it and you're not just kind of looking at a screen doing stuff, right? So background audio is awesome. Yeah, it sounds really cool. Next thing we're going to talk about, and I'm going to show you this, but I'm going to talk for a second. It's just a little bit nerdy and I love it. So notice the front looks a little bit different. You got this number that's kind of changing here. You got this number that's changing. One of the bigger updates that I've worked on for the last month, and I really just deployed it for test now, is a load balancer. So what that means is as the game scales up, as more and more players join the game, the zone developers can set how many players they want max inside their zone. So let's say it's 64, right? Well, once you hit 64, instead of having the game just kick people out and say that the zone is full, it's just going to create another copy of it and send players into that. So it'll be transparent to them that they're in a totally separate arena for the same zone. But it lets the game scale as the player's demand, goes. And then as players stop playing, the arenas will shut down on their own. So it's totally transparent. We're going to show you that in a little bit here. It's going to be pretty cool. The number on the left here is the ping. So all that's telling you is how long it's taken your computer to talk to the server. That lower the number, the better. The higher the number, you're going to have lag. Your player's going to jump. And then lastly, the right one is how many players are in the game. So right now I have my 2 test accounts in the game. So let's jump on in. First thing you're going to notice, this is not our normal map, right? This is the new training zone. So one of the big updates that I did is now the client can support multiple zones. So that other zone that I was working before is still going to be the full game zone. I have a lot more work to do on that. But in a couple weeks, I want to deploy a free demo. I want you to be able to jump in and play and give me feedback. And I want to do that in a way where it's not the full game, it's a controlled area so I can see how the game performs. And I want you to learn how to play without me throwing a bunch of text. So the way I'm going to do that is through this. So notice you spawn, you're off map here. You're actually way over on the left-hand side. You can't see it on the map. When you spawn in the game, I've never been a big fan of just like reading tutorials, right? I'd rather you jump into the game, and that's kind of what this is. So you got instructions on the ground here. Use WASD to walk, use your mouse to turn, hold shift to run. So let's kind of go forward here. Once you've done this tutorial enough, you can always skip it, right? But in this case, for new players, you're going to gear up. Here's going to be one of the first new updates of the game. All these dialog boxes have changed now. They look somewhat similar, but under the hood, they're very different. Now you can move them around. You can close them. And also, they're just organized and structured a lot better. So I'm going to grab a new weapon. The other update I made, small quality of life improvement. I noticed from... let's grab one of these. I noticed from feedback I got from my developers, or from my testers rather, that they didn't always know what weapon was selected, and just because the game didn't really display it well. So now it's very clear that's the weapon that you're on. And actually, let's grab a grenade. Hand. The other bug that I fixed, beforehand when you were on a dialogue and you were left clicking, it was shooting things all over the place. So now it no longer does that. That's been fixed. So for this part of the tutorial, you're going to walk here. It tells you exactly what to do. Grab an XM7, maybe a grenade. Why not? We're going to follow the arrows. And this is just going to tell you, go and shoot some stuff. None of this stuff can actually be blown up. It's all just stuff you can shoot. Now, something interesting in this entire area that you're not actually seeing, this whole area is in something that I call local only. It is a giant box that the zone developers can draw. And basically, anything that happens in here is only happening on my screen. So what you're not seeing is I have a test account that's also on here. You don't see them shooting. You don't see them moving around. You don't see them doing anything because everything that's happening in here is just local. And that makes it so that I can run this tutorial without where it's you, the player, on your own. And you don't actually jump into the full game until you teleport out. So let's keep going through. Now you've shot at stuff, so you know how to left click and shoot. Walk here, touch this, and right click. Now let's drive. Oh man, I broke the vehicle. Man, it genuinely would not be a good video without a bug. I promise I don't do this on purpose. I like really test before I do these videos, and I very clearly have messed something up. So, all right, cool. So anyway, I'll fix that. Normally you'd be driving, drive. Let's go through here. I don't even know what I did to break it. Whatever. These little things here can't. Okay, that was rude. Living up to its name, this turret does not like me. Hey, let's go talk here before we jump down this turret. So you get out of the car here. The players can try a tank now. The tank works. I don't know why things aren't turning. That's so weird. Yeah, it's like things just don't want to turn. All right, I'll figure it out. And then I did throw this turret, again, local only, right? So when this thing shoots at me, it's only going to shoot at me. The other thing is it's not going to cause any damage. So in local only mode, the player can't be damaged, and they can't damage things on their own as well. So they just normal. All right, so now you've been shot at by the turret. You get nervous, then you realize, oh man, my health's not going down. It's no big deal. Let's keep going. Come down here when done. Now players can learn how to walk up to them, grab ammo from the crates, right? And then once all said and done, join the fight. Don't die. Don't make it weird. Now, they can also go right here if they want. They can change things up, no big deal. Or they can jump right into the fight. I am going to show you something, a little bit of a secret. Actually, no. I'm going to wait for people to find it. We're all good. Move forward. All right. So this teleporter is going to send you into the map area, into this area here. So because this is the demo, this is how players are going to learn how to use the game, how to play it, right? So you can always skip it, or you can go through the tutorial, but I think this is a lot better than just having like a giant block of text, right? And so let's jump on in. This thing will teleport us. There's a little countdown. At least I didn't break that. All right. Automatically, you start off in this no fire area. We know that. We've known that for a while. I saw all the teleporters from the drop zone are going to be, right? And so let's jump out. This area isn't too different from the full wall zone. I wonder if this guy works. That works. That's so weird. I think I have a tank in here. I really don't understand why the other things didn't work. I think I also have a truck over here. Oh yeah, that's there. There we go. Let's see. That is odd. All right, I'll have to figure it out. Not worried about it. Probably an easy bug to fix. So this map doesn't look too different, right? It's similar to the inner city for the Warzone Charlie map. It's just really compressed. You have your generic woods down here, a whole bunch of trees, right? I don't have any water. I kind of kept it really simple. A little bit down here where you can't really get to it. But it's mainly an urban fighting kind of map. You'll notice this is pretty much a copy paste from the Warzone Charlie zone. I just really like this area. I like how it played out. Yeah, even the tank works. That's odd. Notice the tank vehicles. That's right. I'm sorry that I said tank vehicles. I meant tank audio from the gun bullets that it's firing, which are actually rockets. Man, that one like went through windows, I think. Let's see. Is it still going? Oh yeah, there it goes. Yeah, missiles and rockets can all actually go through windows and stuff, which is kind of cool. All right, so this is the new map. Kind of cool. It's where players will be dropped in. I'm looking forward to releasing it. I'm really hoping to do it sometime in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to add a couple more updates to it to make it look and feel a lot better. But overall, I'm pretty happy with what it is. I think it's a good way to give players a taste of the game, to get them in and learning how the game works. And on a personal note, it gives me a chance to test and to understand what's working, what isn't, right? Before I release like the full zone of the game. So this is the training zone. Awesome area. I look forward to getting you all on there. If you want to get in early, don't forget, join me on Discord so you can check it out. I always give out playtest keys, and I'm always happy to get feedback. All right. Next big update. You watching the screen? Wait, what's the button? Immersive Mode. So, I was playing the game, and I realized, man, it would be cool if the only thing I saw was like my player, and I didn't have all this stuff around me. You definitely get a little bit of advantage from other players because you see more of the screen, right? But here's the disadvantage, and this is why I think it's a good trade-off. You don't get your map, so you really have to know the zone that you're in. you don't know what weapon is selected other than having to look at your player and see what they have in their hand, right? You don't know the player list. You don't know the chat. So if you're in team chat and your teammates are giving you information, you don't know any of that. But it does look cool, and it is a much wider screen. So I'm really excited for that feature. Here's the next new feature. Binoculars. So with binoculars, the second you move, they're off, right? But if you hold them down, if you stand there with them, you can be totally still and you can look around and see what's going on around you. The second you shoot, second you move, everything changes, with the exception of if you use an RPG. See, it's kind of like similar to what the RPG has, and that kind of sticks. So you can see that thing blow up. That's cool. So I think it's really cool, fun little feature. These little rings are just range rings. They don't do anything. They're just for looks. You're the only one that sees them when you actually use them. All right. So the next big update, I'm actually going to jump out into spec arenas. So you and your team, or you and your friends want to jump in the game and play. You want to play totally on your own. You don't want to play with other people, right? When you first join the game, you see it says Arena 1 here, because there's only 3 players total on the server. But Roy, there's 2 here. Yeah, that's because the other player's in this private arena. So you can create a new arena that is completely public. Anybody can join it. You get to name it. No issue at all. Eventually, you'll be able to be the mod of that arena. So if you only want certain players to be able to play, you can grant them access, and then everyone else has to just watch. There's going to be a couple of parameters I'm going to expose, but for now, you can just create public arenas. But let's say you and your friends want to have a private arena. So we can call this one Roy's Private Arena, kind of an awkward name. I'll give it a password. We'll do the password ABC, and create and join. What you're not seeing behind the scenes is the server is now creating a full copy of the zone server. The load balancer is creating a full copy of the zone server. It's running it. It's setting it up for you, making it password protected. And now if anybody tries to join without that password, they're not going to be able to join. You want to see that in action? This one has my MacBook testing in it. So if I click join, I actually don't think I remember the password. Let's just name it Mac. Yeah, incorrect password. So let's join again. Maybe I named it 2 for Test Arena 2. 2. Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. So that was it. The 2 was the password. Now I'm in here. Here's my Mac. The chat is arena specific as well. And so if my other computer here that's testing DZ that was in Arena 1 chats, I won't see it here, and vice versa. And then again, you could always create a public arena. So let's make this one Roy's Public Arena. I won't put a password. Create and join. Give it a second. And now notice this one doesn't say private. The other thing to notice is, notice Roy's private arena went away. So for the arenas that you create as the player, if no one's been on them in about 30 seconds, they just disappear. So that gives you time to jump on. It gives you time to tell your friends to join. But then once you guys are all said and done, it'll disappear. Everything goes away with it. So nothing too crazy. But yeah. So those have been the big updates for the game, right? So we talked about the load balancer. We talked about all the UI updates, some of the like nice to haves, look and feel, changing the colors of certain things. I will say the load balancer, the new arena stuff, was a pretty huge update. I need to spend a lot of time testing it. I did it in a way that I think isn't as impactful to the code. Instead of having all the arenas managed by the single server itself, I added the load balancer on top and had it manage different arenas. So introduced a new component to the game, which is a load balancer itself. But the flip side is it was really minimal code updates to the actual server. The server, the only thing that it really got updates for was when it gets started, I now pass in what arena number it is and the arena title and whether or not it's private and password protected. So it really wasn't a lot of updates to it. Updates to the zone, to the client that you use, there's definitely a good amount there. So that's kind of why I've been kind of silent for the last month. There's just been a lot of changes in the game, and I wanted to make sure that they were pretty solid before I put them in. Honestly, the immersive mode and the binoculars, the only reason they're in the game is because I didn't want to do the arena stuff. I just knew it was going to be a lot of code. I knew it was going to break stuff. And so I just wanted to do something fun before I jumped into it, and that's why I threw in immersive mode and binoculars. But that's it for this video. Appreciate you guys sticking with me for these updates. As always, come join me on Discord if you want a code to the game, if you want to give me feedback to the game. I'm really hoping in the next like 2 to 3 weeks to release this demo. I will leave you with another awesome thing. I did sign up for, so I got the invite from Steam to join Next Fest. I got it for the February Next Fest, and I knew the game wouldn't be ready, and I'm glad I didn't do it because it definitely was not ready. But I did get another invite for the June Next Fest, and I did commit to it. So my goal is between now and June, obviously release the demo. That's gonna happen no matter what in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Really, after this video, I have a couple like quality of life improvements, but otherwise, I'm ready to release it. And then I'll do another video on the demo itself, so you all can see it before it goes out. You'll see some of the gotchas that the demo has that the full version won't have to deal with. But from then on, it's just gonna be stability and working on the full Warzone Charlie, which is the other zone that you've seen on my other videos, in preparation for Next Fest. Next Fest is when I'll do the full up game, and after Next Fest, I'm hoping to be able to like actually fully release the whole thing. So, thanks again for watching. Join me on Discord. The link is down in the game description, or the video description. All right, this is Roy SpecFreq. See y'all.